Hello all, welcome to tonight's beer review, which I'm going to dub Skin Rash Beer Review, because I got a really bad rash on one side of my body for some reason. I'm hoping it's just a heat rash, because it's been really hot here in Hawaii. So what are we reviewing today? Well, I saw another Session IPA, and spoiler alert, I saved one can of the Maui one, and I'm gonna go and do a comparison review later in between the two. But this is from Honolulu Beerworks. It's called Shaka, Maka'i Shaka Session IPA. That's in India. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little bit out of it. But Maka'i markets are like sort of high-end branding for the Foodland supermarket chain here in Hawaii. I'm not sure if they have any other branches outside of Hawaii, maybe in Guam or Northern Marianas. I know they don't have any in the mainland. Well, let's read the label, shall we? Brewed in collaboration with Honolulu Beerworks. ICYMI. Maka'i is hopping. That's right, thanks to our friends at Honolulu Beerworks, we've now got our very own brew. Easy drinking and light-bodied with a bright fruity aroma and lots of hops. Our new IPA is plenty Maka'i and Shaka-worthy good. So for those of you who aren't from Hawaii, Shaka is basically, hang loose, otherwise known as a hang loose sign. It's kind of like a thing you do in Hawaii, though it's kind of gotten like a tourist vibe to it now. So locals actually don't do it too much, younger locals, older ones, they still do it a lot, but it's kind of dying as our culture homogenizes towards the mainland culture. And Maka'i means good in Hawaiian, and it also is the name of that supermarket branding. So this is 4.5 ABV, and yeah, so we're going to pour this out now, and you're going to see something pretty interesting here. So it's kind of a very cloudy yellow color. Maybe it's like golden tinges to it. With a thick white head. Thick fluffy white head. Now why they did not go and advertise this as a hazy IPA, Session IPA, I have no idea, because this is as hazy as it gets, bro. Okay. A little bit closed up. So, citrus. Slight touches of pine needle and dank, but mostly just citrus zest. Bready malts underneath. You can smell this one. But yeah, interestingly, it's really closed up, which is strange because this is like really, really fresh. 5/13/2023. This beer is barely a month old. So I was expecting it to be a little bit bigger and brighter. Almost lemony kind of citrus if I'm going to go and put my finger on it. Okay, onto the palate now, shall we? I mean, you do taste the hops, but you taste quite a bit of the malts too. And it's not like sweet or anything. It's pretty much on the dry side. It's just you taste like a sort of crackery, papery malts first and foremost before that hop bitterness kicks in. And there's not much dimensionality, on the palate to that hopping. It's mostly just kind of a subtle bitterness. So, a bit of orange citrus zest, lemon citrus zest, and papery malts, and the top note. Again, very subdued. And the flavor is pretty indistinct. You know, it doesn't pop. Obviously, it would have trouble popping being so subdued. Mouthfeel is very light, but not too crisp. You know, this is really odd because I usually call like session IPAs hop water, but this isn't super hoppy at all. I mean, it's not sweet by any means. Most of the sugars have been fermented out. But yeah, you know. As it warms up, the bitterness is becoming a bit more apparent, but it's still, very undefined, very indistinct. You know, not much is reaching the top notes. It's at least somewhat refreshing. So, Maka'i Shaka Session IPA. Well, it's not Maka'i, but it's not terrible either. I forget what the Hawaiian word for terrible and mediocre is. But yeah. You know, there's really not much to recommend this unless you really want to go and get so this is probably very. I haven't seen any reviews for this or even any much verbiage online. This is not available at the Beerworks brewery, you know, on tap, and I have not seen it any other place other than, you know, the Maka'i markets. So I mean, if you're a completist for Hawaiian beers, you know, I guess you can go and run out and grab this one at Maka'i markets. But I don't know. There's just better beers, better session IPAs out there. I think. I mean, it's not awful. I'm not spitting this out. You know, and it's not going to be drain poured either. It's just very meh. You know, it's bitter and somewhat so bitter, but there's not much else, you know, to recommend, especially when you want your IPAs, especially when they're super fresh, to just slap you upside the nose and in the top notes with those hop aromas. So yeah, that is your beer review for this evening, my Shaka Session IPA. And yeah, next one's going to be a comparison review. Unless my health declines even further and I have to go to the ER for this rash. Because it itches and burns. I wonder if it's connected to that back pain thing. Anyways, cheers.